When I went to the church, I saw thousands of people. There was no way to get him. I saw Pastor T.B. Joshua calling people, healing them in front of me. During the close of the service, Pastor T.B. Joshua told everybody in the church, yes, this is the time for you to receive your healing. You cannot come to Synagogue Church of All Nations and go back with your problem, sickness, or anything. I am going to pray for you and believe that God is going to heal you. Only believe. He prayed for masses and personally met Pastor Joshua during the crowd.
Spiritual wife. Spiritual wife from the water. I have no child, business, everything. Every night I see her. I can't even sleep, I can't do anything. Every time I come to heal from me, like,
Mr. Amponsem has no control over himself. He moves backwards and falls to the ground as the Holy Spirit puts an end to his problem of a mental disorder.
And when he prayed for me, I found myself totally healed. I went home, and the woman came again and said, now that the man of God of synagogue prayed for you, I have nothing to do with you. I am gone. You will never see me again. When you come back here, you're going to do the wedding. Listen to me very well. The next day for the wedding, that woman came to me in my room here and said, we are now going to marry. I have nothing to do with you. The point I'm making here, it is said, Pastor T.B. Joshua healed people by familiar spirit. How can a devil cast a devil? How could this woman tell me, the man of God, I pray for him and healed? Have you seen a spirit before? I have seen. I was married to one of them. And I was totally healed. And I've never seen her again anymore.
Stephen, how did you become involved in the accusations between Bisola and Pastor Joshua?
This is wonderful. Bisola, I met Bisola at the Church of Synagogue. When I came by here in the United States, one day Peter called me here and said, Stephen, we don't hear from you anymore. So I called her twice and said, I want to talk to Pastor Joshua. He said, I'm going to mountains. He's not there, of which I know. It happens. And then I said, okay, I have some tapes. I have some books and other things for the church. So I'm going to send it to you so that you get to Pastor Joshua. I did it and sent books and other things to Pastor Joshua. And then, about 2 months later, after that, I was there when Bisola called me from Nigeria and said, one Theo, a young man, is coming to Los Angeles. I'm very familiar with the name, the synagogue. And so he gave me the number to call the young man. I called the young man. He says, I am in town.
This is Theo Ukpa, the young man in question who connived with Bisola Johnson to deceive Mr. Stephen Amponsem. Theo came to the Synagogue Church of All Nations under the guise of wanting to help the ministry. It was here that he met Bisola Johnson, and their plot to defraud Prophet T.B. Joshua and the Synagogue Church of All Nations all began. Being very loyal to Bisola Johnson, he agreed to take part in the scheme to defraud Mr. Stephen Amponsem. Whilst in America, one of the people whom Bisola with the help of Theo successfully defrauded was Mr. Stephen Amponsem.
So I told my wife, and I took the man to my wife, and he was very, very happy. He came to this house.
Believing he was sent by Prophet T.B. Joshua, Mr. Stephen Amponsem welcomed Theo into his home and gave him the VIP treatment. He introduced him to his wife, and they warmly embraced Theo and entertained him.
And I gave him $2,000 in envelope. Go and give to Bisola, to give to Pastor Joshua for the church. And I went to downtown and bought 2 beautiful, beautiful suits.
With gratitude for what Prophet T.B. Joshua had done for he and his wife, upon Theo's departure, Mr. Amponsem handed an envelope containing $2,000 into the hands of Theo to give to Prophet T.B. Joshua for the church, and 2 beautiful and very expensive suits as a personal gift to the prophet himself. Theo was highly appreciated by Mr. Amponsem and his wife, who blessed him with money and other personal items, which were meant solely for his own use.
I called again. They said, yeah, the young man has come. I said, have you given the money to Pastor Joshua? First he said, yes. I've given the money to Pastor Joshua. I was so happy.
Pastor Joshua said he never received it.
Mr. Stephen Amponsem explained how he was deceived by Bisola Johnson when she falsely used Prophet T.B. Joshua's name to collect $2,000 and expensive clothes from him. Having telephoned him on 2 occasions, Bisola Johnson deceived Mr. Stephen Amponsem into believing that she was still part of the ministry at the Synagogue Church of All Nations and was sent by Prophet T.B. Joshua. Out of his love for the ministry and grateful to God for what he had used Prophet T.B. Joshua to do in his life, Mr. Amponsem willingly gave $2,000 and additional gifts to a young man who Bisola Johnson had deceitfully sent to him. Mr. Stephen Amponsem believed that this $2,000 and his gift of 2 brand new suits were being given directly to Prophet T.B. Joshua and the Synagogue Church of All Nations. However, he was shocked when he received a personal call from Prophet T.B. Joshua and discovered that Bisola Johnson was not a part of the Synagogue Church of All Nations, and that Prophet T.B. Joshua had not received the $2,000 or gifts which he had sent. As a matter of fact, Prophet T.B. Joshua did not know anything about it. Mr. Amponsem had been misled by Bisola Johnson, who had now collected $2,000 and 2 expensive suits from him, all in the name of Prophet T.B. Joshua.
Bisola is going about telling lies and collecting money. Now I am a witness. He lied to me and collected my money and never give to the church. I sent clothes and 2,000 for the church. He said, I have not received any money. That was a shock to me.
Stephen, the $2,000 that you gave in the envelope to Theo, is there a witness to that passing of the cash?
Yes, I discussed with my wife, who is standing by me. Both of us agreed to give the money. The money does not belong to Pastor Joshua. I always give the money to the church.
Right. Mrs. Campbell, what do you know about the situation involving Pastor T.B. Joshua and the Church of the Synagogue?
Well, I have not personally met Pastor Joshua, but when my husband was over there and he was not well, he went to the church and he became healed. After he came here, I had talked with Pastor Joshua several times. He prayed for us, he prayed for our business, and several times the business has prospered. There were times when funds were owing to us and never start coming, but after praying, it would just start coming to us. So he's really been a spiritual father to us, and we support the church somehow. And so when Bisola called that time, we had no idea that she was at the church no longer. And so when Theo came, we gave him the money to send to Pastor Joshua for the church. Later on, Pastor Joshua said he never received it. And that's far as I know on that. Later on, I heard that Bisola is still calling, possibly to get more funds. Well, I understand that she is really trying to discredit Pastor Joshua.